We're here to protect you and the ones that you love. It's a good feeling to know that our efforts aren't going unnoticed.
It actually brought tears to my eyes to know that we have this support.
You're welcome. I must just say you're welcome. It's stressful, but we're not going anywhere.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Basketball Through the Decades. This is an opportunity for us to meet more of our standout players in the Bucknell women's basketball program, as well as an opportunity for Coach Wood to get to know some of the greats from our program. Today, we have two people on the call at the moment, and hopefully a third joining us shortly. The guests we have on the phone right now are Lindsey Halawa from the class of 2007. Lindsey was an all-rookie team member as a freshman, and then she was all-Patriot League second team as a sophomore and a junior. She was a two-time team captain for the Bison, and she finished her career with 1,386 career points, which ranks 9th all-time on Bucknell's career list. Also joining us right now, Hope Foster from the class of 2008. Hope was a Patriot League all-rookie team member also as a freshman. She was on the all-Patriot League first team as a sophomore, as well as the league's defensive player of the year that year. As a junior, she was all-Patriot League first team again, and she was the Patriot League player of the year. And then as a senior, she was also all-Patriot League first team. Hope led the Bison to the 2008 NCAA tournament after Bucknell made a great run through the Patriot League tournament as the number 5 seed and wound up capturing the league championship. She finished with 1,256 career points, which is 14th all-time at Bucknell. She ranks second in school history in rebounding with 904 and first in block shots with 344, which is more than almost triple the next closest on the Bucknell list. She was inducted into Bucknell's Hall of Fame last fall of 2019. And I want to welcome both Hope and Lindsey. And hopefully, Molly Kramer, class of 2003, will be joining us shortly. When she does, Coach, I'll take a second and I'll mention her accolades and we'll move forward from there. But at this time, I'll turn it over to you and let you run with it.
Well, thanks, Todd. I appreciate this opportunity. Hope, I've had a chance to meet. So gracious, spoke with our team briefly at our after our alumni game, I believe it was, back during the season. First chance to get to meet Lindsey. It's exciting. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with both of you. And just want to start by saying that as the, I guess, still new coach here, coached the team very much knowing that the success we were able to have this past season was largely due to the foundation that you two and others have built for us. Thank you for that. All of your hard work made our lives a little bit easier. And as the coach, I really appreciate that. So thank you. We'll away and try to make it as easy as possible by just calling on one of you to start, okay? And I think going by year of graduation.
There we go. That's right, Lindsey.
Lindsey's the least young.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're not too far behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lindsey, you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
These are softballs, so don't sweat it. Take us back to the beginning and take us through your recruiting process and how you ended up here in Lewisburg at Bucknell.
Well, I was starting to be recruited pretty young. I would say probably maybe 8th or 9th grade being looked at. Bucknell had always been on my list of schools to look at. It's very close to where I grew up, and I wanted to be semi-close to home and still be at a competitive school. And so I had looked at a few other schools, and then Bucknell, after I visited Bucknell, I knew at that point. Kathy Federaca had recruited me, and so that's who I came in playing for. And I came in, 2003 was my first year of playing.
Well, Kathy now coaches my 8-year-old son
Oh,
in the youth leagues here in Lewisburg, so she's still having an impact.
yes, she definitely is. There's some local kids around where I live now, since I'm in Lock Haven, that she also coaches. So I hear from her here and there too.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky to have her. My son enjoys it. Hope, how about your experience?
Well, if I can be honest with you, nobody really wanted me. And I was rather raw in high school. I came on my visit to Bucknell. I think only one other school was looking at me, Lehigh. I was definitely adamant about going to a good school academically. And so Bucknell, checked that box immediately. But as far as the basketball process, yeah, it was just Bucknell and Lehigh. And went on my visit to Lehigh. I didn't like the color of the uniforms there. So that was awful. They were awful. That brown is terrible. And I'm, you see, it just doesn't work with my skin complexion and everything. I needed something, bright to go with, my ambiance. So came to Bucknell and I saw, the orange, blue, and white.
So it's a very scientific decision. Uh-oh, I hope we didn't lose her. She's still there? Todd? Loser?
She's probably still on. She's probably trying to reconnect.
Okay. Well, we got to follow up with that answer. We can't let it.
It wouldn't be a Zoom call without some technical difficulties, so.
Yeah. Can you edit this?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of recording it.
So, Lindsey, how many years did you guys play together, you and Hope?
We played for 3 years together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was Coach Jim Reed there when you were there?
He was not.
Okay.
He was there not long before me. So he probably coached Molly. But,
Yeah, I know he did, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, you saw when he arrived.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's back here with us now.
Yeah, I saw that. That was exciting news.
Yeah, he's the, as he likes to say, he's the most underemployed Bucknell engineering graduate in the country. He got his engineering degree from here, and he's coaching hoops.
Nice.
I know how that feels. I remember when I told my parents I was going into college athletics after I graduated from here. They're like, "What?"
What was your degree, Todd?
Economics, but
Isn't the answer to every economics question the same? It's supply and demand.
you got it.
When in doubt, just do that answer.
I'm guessing she's trying to log back in now since she pulled out. Gosh, between her and Molly, I'm wondering if this call is meant to be.
I know.
So, Lindsey, do you have family, kids, anything?
Yes, I have 2 children. I have a daughter who is 8 and a son who is 6.
Uh-huh.
And
Is she third grade?
she'll be 3rd grade next year.
So you were smart. You kept her a little longer.
Yeah, well, she's a September baby.
Oh, okay.
And so she's like one of the older ones in her class. Our cutoff date for our school district is September 1st. So she missed it by a couple of days. Yeah.
And is she shown any interest in basketball?
She just started this year to start to get interested in it. So I think she was going to try out a camp this summer, but I don't think that's going to happen at this point.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, you'll have to put her through her paces.
Yeah. She actually likes whenever I do little workouts with her. So.
Well, good luck with it. I find myself, I have a hard time watching my son play. I just get so frustrated watching him that it's not worth watching him. And I that dad, so it's like,
Yeah.
there she is. She's back. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right. You want to pick it right up, Nate? Pick it right up, Trevor.
Okay, we'll move on here. Second question, and Hope, you get to go first on this one.
Okay.
So you played on some good teams during your time at Bucknell. If you could narrow it down to just a couple of things, what do you think were the keys to success for your group at Bucknell? Besides good players.
Yeah. I think unity. Definitely. I always think about that, just that intangible. And I think I was big on that when I played, just working together. Even I think about our senior year. So Lindsey had already graduated, and we had a rough year that year. Like, I don't think people really remember the regular season. They remember us winning the Patriot League, but like we didn't get to 500 until after we won the Patriot League. Like we were under 500 the entire season. Like, Todd, do you remember that? Like we were under 500. And so, we didn't check all the boxes of a team that was supposed to win a championship. And yet we stuck together, right? And you can't underestimate the value of people sticking together through the good, through the bad. And we were able to pull that out. So I think unity really played a big part that senior year for us. I think one thing that was important for us also during my time there was just having fun. I think people, they run away from that, but we had fun. Like, I remember just silly things happening in the locker room, right? That chemistry translates into how you're going to perform on the court. I remember, I don't know, Lindsey, do you remember Lele, or was she after you graduated?
No, she was a freshman my senior year.
Your senior year?
Yeah.
I remember Lele and I got into it in the locker room fighting. I bust my eye above before a game. Like, I had to get stitches above my eye because we were playing around in the locker room. Like, we were just joking, but like just fun things like that, just having fun. The sprints are going to be difficult, right? The working out is going to be difficult. You got to have some fun along the way. And so, unity and having fun, I think those are the two things that really contributed to the success.
Great. Lindsey?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with you, Hope. I definitely think that on and off the court, the relationships and things like that are really important to the team. And I mean, I think that all of that plays a part, the technical part of it, and, building not only the players on the floor in their positions, and I mean, we had strong players as forwards, we had strong players as guards and point guards. So we had all that, and it was really having all that come together. And that was a large part of it, was creating that unity. Yeah.
Great. So then let's narrow it down a little bit. Tell us your most memorable moment at Bucknell. Maybe it's basketball related. Maybe it isn't.
Ooh.
Join us.
Ooh. Lindsey, you go first.
Hold on. Is that Molly?
That's Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Molly.
Hi, Nuke.
Trevor Woodruff, nice to meet you.
Hi, Coach Woodruff.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You've almost got starting five.
What's that?
You've almost got your starting five.
I know. Get ready.
All right, so I'll take a second, Trevor, and introduce Molly to the call, and folks at home that are watching. Obviously, Molly is a new mother, and she was otherwise detained a few minutes ago. Now is able to join us, but Molly's class of 2003. She was an all-rookie team member and all-Patriot League second team player as a freshman. She was all-Patriot League first team and Patriot League player of the year as a sophomore, junior, and senior. She was a three-time Patriot League all-tournament team selection and the Patriot League tournament MVP in 2002. She averaged 27.1 points per game as a senior and was named honorable mention All-American after leading the Bison to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history. She's Bucknell's and the Patriot League's all-time leading scorer with 2,462 career points. She became just the second woman in NCAA history to lead her conference in both scoring and assists for 3 straight years. She was the 10th overall pick in the WNBA draft by the New York Liberty, and her jersey is one of 2 retired here at Bucknell, and she is also a member of the Bucknell Athletic Hall of Fame. So, Molly, thanks for joining us on the call, and I'm going to turn it right back over to Coach.
Well, my first is, that's it, Molly? My goodness. Seems like if you worked a little harder, you might have had some better achievements.
Great to be part of the team.
Well, very impressive. We got 3 impressive former Bison here. So, Molly, we're gonna go with you first. Here's our question that we pose to everybody. Molly, give us your greatest experience, the single most memorable experience you had as part of the Bucknell women's basketball program.
Oh my gosh, that is really hard, Coach Woodruff. Oh my gosh, what were
Yeah.
preseason workouts like? This is a hard.
Which one of your kids do you like the best, Molly?
Yeah. The first thought that came to my mind was probably the most memorable was my junior year when we won the Patriot League tournament at Holy Cross. Holy Cross was always just a hard team for us to beat, and they were always so good, and we won up at Holy Cross, and it was just kind of the greatest way to kind of end a year with we had a bunch of seniors, and we send them off with a championship and got to go to NCAAs. So I would say that probably would stand out to all of us as kind of the most, like, the epic moment for our journey at Bucknell.
Great. Hope?
It might have to be when we played Army senior year at Army, the Patriot League, I think that was the quarterfinals. We were down with like under 2 minutes to go. And like I already said to you, that year was, really rough for us. We were down, but we got into that timeout and we were like, look, we're going to win this game. Amanda Brown hits a game-winning shot, like probably 4 seconds left to go. I mean, so it wasn't technically game-winning, but it was like 4 seconds to go. She hits the shot. I mean, Army is just devastated. I'll never forget that game because that obviously sent us on to the semifinals and then to the finals. But that game was paramount for us because Army historically has been tough for us, just physically, So, yeah, I'll never forget that game. And I'll never forget that shot from Amanda Brown. So.
Lindsey?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to win a Patriot League championship, so I can't really go that route. But
I'm sorry, that was my fault.
No. We did have some good runs, though, and I do think that the Patriot League tournaments are really memorable because they're so exciting. And I mean, even though I never got to win a championship, I think that a lot of those Patriot League games, the championship games, really stuck with me. I mean, even my senior year, we were, I think, 12-2 Patriot League. We had a really good record.
Yeah, we did.
We struggled there towards the end, but we did end up going to the WNIT and playing, and that was a really cool experience for me. I don't know. There really are a lot of memorable moments, though. It is hard to pinpoint one.
Well, you snaked out of that one. You didn't. That means you get to go first on the next one then. So maybe give us an idea. What role has basketball played in your life since graduating? Did you pursue anything after graduation, or did it just become kind of a hobby?
Well, I think basketball played a huge part in my life overall. Not just basically, it's taught me so much. I came out of Bucknell just feeling like I was prepared for my next step in life. I felt like I started to learn leadership roles. I just felt like relationships were strengthening, and that I just had that mentality of I'm just gonna do the best I can and whatever I end up doing next. I did coach high school for a while after that. I was an assistant coach at my old high school where I went, and then I was the head coach there for a little while. Once I had my kids, I stopped coaching, but I teach now, and I just feel like a lot of the things that I got as a basketball player at Bucknell, a student athlete at Bucknell, really carried through into my life now.
Molly?
Can you repeat the question just so I was,
Sure.
thanks, I was
So,
interested in the answer.
the question essentially is your basketball life after Bucknell. Did you pursue basketball? Obviously, you know you were drafted in the WNBA.
Right.
Maybe just fill us in on how that went and where's basketball in your life these days?
Yeah, definitely. Lindsey and Hope, by the way, I love hearing you guys talk. I miss you guys. So yeah, I drafted by the WNBA was such a thrill, and I was there for about a month. I obviously didn't make the final roster, but just being able to, I'll never forget, like, you know, I watched Teaspoon play as a kid and Becky Hammond, and, you know, being able to be in training camp with them was just really unbelievable. So I learned a ton there, but then when that didn't work out, I didn't know really at the time that you could go to Europe and play. So I remember I was, you know, told, well, you know, even though you make the WNBA, you can go to Europe and you can play in these, you know, great countries and make a great living. So I was super surprised by that and excited. So I went and I was lucky enough to pursue it. So I played in Israel for a season, and then I played a year in Lubbock, Texas, like semi-pro ball. And that's where I met Kelly Mazzani, the Penn State great, who's now assistant coach at Bucknell. We were roommates and teammates at in Lubbock, Texas, which was awesome.
She sends her best, by the way. She told me to tell you.
Wonderful. Well, I got to see her do a shooting clinic up close and personal, and I was like, wow, that's why she scored about 4,000 points in high school.
It wasn't a passing clinic.
Yeah, but don't sleep on the passing. She can play. She's a pretty good passer. But then, yeah, then I, you know, I tried the WNBA a couple more times, but it just never worked out fitting in a roster. But I got to play then in France for a year and Hungary for 2 more years and then Italy for a year. So that was awesome, getting just to play and make that kind of a career and then see the world and really get exposed to more cultures and diversity and, you know, just kind of learn a little bit more about the world. So that was wonderful. And then I came back and did a lot of like personal training for basketball, and I just loved working with the kids and doing that. And I coached 1 year of high school basketball, but then kind of life took a turn, and I'm now a school counselor at a high school, and just with the kids, I haven't really done coaching, but I would love to at some point get back into coaching. But right now, basketball is just something that, like, I work at an all boys high school, so sometimes I'm able to like go into the gym and shoot around with the guys, and that helps me kind of connect with them. And and with my actual children, I'm trying to get them to shoot not underhand and just shoot overhand. But yeah, basketball is, you know, like Lynn said, just been such a metaphor for life. Like, never give up, be resilient, keep going, be open to learning. So yeah.
Yeah, and on a side note, I did have Molly come and speak to my team at one point when I was coaching high school, because she's an inspiration. So she came and gave us a good inspirational lesson and speech. So that was cool, Molly.
Thanks for having me, Lynn. They seem like they loved Coach.
Hope?
Sorry about that. So right after I graduated, I had an opportunity to go play in Germany, which I really enjoyed. I played for 1 season, and it was sort of my choice to take a different route after I came back. I had an opportunity to go play for another team in Italy, but when that opportunity came up, I was already coaching high school basketball. And it's crazy, but like, if I give somebody my word, like, because the AD was concerned about me leaving, like when I took the job, because she was like, well, I know you play professional basketball, so I'm concerned. I was like, well, if I get a job, I'm not going to leave. 2 weeks after I signed my contract with the school, an opportunity came up and I chose to stay. And then I had an opportunity to try out for the Tulsa Shock. That didn't work out, and it's all good. I coached high school basketball. Molly, I'm also a school counselor. I didn't know you were a school counselor. So.
Oh, I'm following your path.
We're following one another. I don't know what's going on. But I also help out with the basketball. I don't coach full-time anymore, just with everything that I had going on, family, and just being a school counselor, writing IEP reports. That's just, kind of consumes my time. But I help out with the women's and men's basketball team at my school. I like to go and I can still play horse with any of them and beat them because they can't shoot. Right? They want to do is dunk and stuff. They can't shoot. I can still outshoot any of them. I know I didn't shoot that much at Bucknell, right? But I do that. But one of the things that I've learned from sports, not just basketball, is, it's like, it's okay if you take a shot and miss it, right? Because in soccer, you can take a shot and miss it. It's okay. Like, I'm trying to get the kids that I work with, like, to take the shot. They're so afraid of failing that they won't take any shots. And I'm talking about shots in life, whatever that may be. Not just, on the basketball court or on the soccer field, but just take a shot in life. Like, it's okay. You took the shot, and you don't, it's okay if it doesn't go in. And so that's what I've learned about, basketball. Like, hey, I've missed a lot of shots in life, but I made shots in life too. And, the only reason that I was able to get something out of it was because I actually took the shot. So take the shot. And yeah, that's all I got.
Well, that's a good answer. Why don't you keep going? What, the next question, which is, what advice would you give to players in our program currently? You mentioned, take your shot. Is there anything you would say in addition to that?
No, just, take the shots on the court, off the court, and enjoy the moment. Like, I know, like, I didn't really understand that until I got to, like, senior year, and I was like, this is about to end, right? I didn't really understand it, but just enjoy the moment and don't take yourself too seriously. I think that, and everybody doesn't agree with that sentiment. Everybody has their own philosophy about how to do this thing, but that's my philosophy. Don't take yourself too seriously and really enjoy the moment. A moment can be taken away, as we have seen in our life right now. Moments can be taken away. You don't know what tomorrow really is going to bring. So,
Great. Lindsey, your advice?
I have to follow that, huh? No.
Yeah, tough.
I agree with her. I really just think the same thing. I would just say to embrace all your experiences on and off the court. And, don't just get caught up in the motion of things, and to go all in, put all heart and soul into it, because you're not going to have any regrets at that point. You're just, just really live in the moment.
Great. Molly?
I think if I could give advice to your players, I would say really be open to learning. And, if you're already really good and you think how to do things a certain way, and someone's trying to teach you something new or trying to show you a different way, try not to be resistant. Try to just be open and humble and take it in. And, as many tools as you have in your tool belt, the more, dynamic you can be on the court. So just, don't be set in one way, and try and be open to new ideas and new coaching. And that goes, I guess, off the court too, just like new experiences, new people. There's, a lot of perspectives out there. So just trying to, be open, be a good listener, and, not be too set in your ways, because there's always a way to kind of expand your game or your perspective or your life. So
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And we're making our way here towards the end, so not much longer. Kind of take that. What advice would you give the new coach and the new coaching staff? Obviously, you guys know Bucknell very well. Any advice you could give us? Lindsey, go ahead.
I'm not going first.
No, you're not.
Well, I mean, first of all, congratulations on a great first season, Coach.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
Thanks.
I mean, I think it's really the same advice that really I was giving too for the student athletes. I think just really, I don't know, really engage in the moment, embrace all the experiences. And I think that it's going to be a lot of learning on your part too, and they're learning, you're learning, and it's just this, you know, you guys are creating this unity, this team, and it'll just continue to build. And I'm really excited to see where this is going to go.
Thank you. Hope?
Sure. I'm not trying to stroke your ego, but when I saw you all play this year, and when the young ladies came to the Hall of Fame ceremony, again, and I'm big on sort of things that don't just happen on the court, but I saw your team just being super together and unified, and just continue with that, continue to encourage that. You know, I know that they know that there's more than just the X's and O's, but to hear that from the coach is also good to know how important that is, that they're relationships, right? You know, you're on a team, it's highly relational. So just continuing to foster that growth and that love with one another. You're already doing a good job, so keep it up.
Thank you. And we're undefeated with you in the building, so next year.
I got you back, man.
Don't be selfish. You got to get here.
I got you.
All right. Molly?
Yeah. Now I have to follow Hope, Lindsay. Come on. Hope is like mic drop every time. But yeah, to echo Lynn's and Hope, congrats, Coach Rudolph, on a great year. And I was so bummed I wasn't able to get up there for a game, but next year will be a lot easier, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, you guys know what you're doing. So, you know, it feels, I don't know, weird to give Coach advice, but I guess I would just say, like, don't forget that you are such a huge, huge, huge factor in these young women's lives, where they remember every interaction, they remember every encouragement, every discouragement, and just, you have such power to shape people's experiences and lives. And it's, you know, it's a very hard position to be in as a coach, but it's also such a great opportunity. So just raise them up, lift them up, give them that, you know, amazing experience and hope. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, and good luck. And
Thank you. Great words, everybody. Now I know, Molly, you have a connection with Coach Mazzani. Did you also play for Coach Reed? Was Jim Reed here when you played?
of course, Coach Reed. I remember he had a double-double.
We dusted him off and brought him back.
Yeah, I'll never forget him telling me I had a double-double with points and turnovers.
Huge impact he had, right?
No, he's so awesome. Such a hard worker. I miss him. I can't wait to give him a hug when I come up to campus next year.
Well, I got to tell you, there were multiple times during the season when he would just turn to me and he'd say, "Molly would kill that kid."
Aw.
So he's a big fan of yours too.
Cool. Well, we all love Coach Reed, so we're big fans too.
Okay, so I think we're at the end of the official questions for you guys. Do you have anything you want to throw at me? We've got a couple minutes left. Any questions for me? Whether it's you know, what we do with the program, what our kind of vision is, what we want to get done here, anything like that?
Yeah, well, one question I have is there anything that like the alumni network could do to be, you know, just more supportive or helpful, or you know, helpful to the program? Or
Great question. So I think the first thing, and this is probably the most challenging thing, is to just be present. I think any chance we have to connect you all with our current players, you know, it just exponentially influences the experience. They get to see the end result in some cases, like, you know, the success and the lives that you guys are living are just living, breathing examples of what they're capable of doing too. So I think that's really, you know, we had Hope was back for a game, and she spoke with the team briefly. So any chance we can have you guys back, we'll take it in a heartbeat. Todd will come up with some money and buy you dinner somehow. We'll figure it out. But we'd love to have you back as often as possible. And then obviously there's always challenges for every program, from a resource standpoint. And, we're trying to continuously push the bar in terms of what type of experience we can provide. And, schools like Bucknell, like many now, obviously with the COVID-19, everybody's feeling the strain. Those, the ability to foster the resources and then divvy them up amongst the student athletes here are always a challenge. So that's always, a way as well. And we have a big event coming up next week, our One Herd, One Day challenge. So hopefully we're going to have a great day with that. And maybe we can talk a little bit more about that later. Great question. Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I'd be a lot better coach if we had you three back. We have really good players, but when you see your credentials, it's crazy to think how much success you all had. So congratulations on that. Thanks for spending some time with us. Appreciate all the work you did to lay the foundation for the success we're able to have now. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. Todd, it's all yours, buddy.
I just want to echo the sentiments of Coach, and it's great to see the three of you. First of all, the women's basketball program is near and dear to my heart. You guys are all great people, and you really represented it well while you were here and then beyond. And it's great to have opportunities like this to bring everybody together. I hope you guys and your families stay well and are well during this time. And we look forward to getting you back on campus when we all can get back on campus. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later. And in the meantime, thanks again for all you do for Bucknell women's basketball, and go Bison.